As we can see, it's just about 1 hour past 2 o'clock on this Tuesday afternoon. And my name is Sebastian Lennartsson. Some of you may have seen me before, but I am the Microsoft commercial trainer here in the Nordics. And of course, together with also, we are always teaming up and doing these webinars where we talk a little bit about how we can engage and reach even more customers around Microsoft products. So what we will be looking into today is Office Attach. We're going to start off by talking just about the basics around Office Attach and why we want to attach Office in each sales. And then I'm also going to look into a tool which we actually offer to all of you, our resellers out there, which you can benefit from and really engage your customers with, increasing your sales without even having to do that much extra labor, if any at all. So with that being said, please don't hesitate to write any questions in the chat. If you have any, you know where to find it. Just put your question in there and I'll make sure to try and answer it as fast as possible. And if you don't want to ask in the chat, you can always add me on LinkedIn or don't add me on LinkedIn and still throw a message, and we can continue the discussion from there if you have anything you're thinking about in regards to the Microsoft products that we are offering together with Also. So with that being said, Office Attach Widget is the name of this webinar and also the name of the product that we're going to talk about today. Because in reality, everything starts with Office, at least if you ask me, and I may be partial in this, but truth of the matter is that Office is the productivity tool that all users out there need to be able to achieve as much as possible on their PC in their work life. So we of course want to make sure that we attach Office in every sales possible. For those of you who joined me on my previous webinar, you've seen this slide before. Because what has happened is that we have made it all a little bit more confusing, at least in the eyes of the customers. Office has partially changed name to Microsoft 365. And for us out there working around these products, that may still feel really simple, but for the customers, it is more perceived as displayed here in the slide. So Office and Microsoft 365, what are the differences and what license suits which user? Well, we are offering Microsoft 365 because it is a slightly different license than Office 2019. It is not only in regards to the apps that we include, but it is also in regards to how we perceive productivity in these different type of licenses. So if we want to break it down to the basics, we offer our customers out on the market 2 different types of purchasing Office. You can get your Office apps via a perpetual license where you pay one time and therefore have the license for all eternity. This means that you are not in any way engaging in the cloud, which also makes these type of licenses suitable for the type of businesses where they have different regulations or don't wish to be on a semi-cloud or cloud-based platform. So for example, if we look into the police authority, they, for example, use Office 2019 Professional in their units because they cannot have their data on a semi-cloud solution. So it's not only about providing a single time purchase, but it's also about providing a solution which fits for those kind of users who are not ready to take the leap to the cloud or have different regulations and therefore can't take a leap towards the cloud. If we look to the annual subscriptions, we have what was formerly known as Office 365. And here is part of the reason why it's confusing, because Office 365 is now called Microsoft 365. And this clearly marks the difference between the perpetual license and the annual subscription. But the reason behind changing from Office 365 to Microsoft 365 is because we've made some fundamental changes into the software. Previously, as you know, you bought a software and you had to upgrade a few years down the line. With the subscription model, we are not only breaking down the cost into monthly or yearly payments, but first and foremost, we are providing a solution which will never go out of date. So by offering Microsoft 365 to your customers, you know that if their demand stays the same, they will never have to upgrade or downgrade. Of course, in regards to changing demands, we always want to be flexible and make sure that our customers have the right license for them, but we are not looking into providing them with a Microsoft 365.2 to replace the Microsoft 365, but instead with the annual subscription model, we offer a license which is always up to date and always the latest and greatest software in terms of productivity for a business user. So that makes Microsoft 365 the probable best solution for many SMB customers out there. But truth of the matter is that this is the actual number of amount of customers who believe that Microsoft Office or Microsoft 365 is included when they buy a PC or operative system. So this means that a lot of your customers, if they do not engage with you, are at risk of buying a PC or an OS without buying Office. And what does this mean? Well, it means that we see some customers who go back to the same channel where they bought their PC. But we also see quite a few customers who buy Office through a different channel from which they bought their PC. It's actually around 30% of customers who buy their Office license from a different channel. And you might wonder, why am I even engaging you with this number? Because for me, it shouldn't make a difference, but it actually does. Because when a customer buys an Office from a different channel than your channel, that's an issue for me because I want the customers to get the right license for their needs. And nobody knows their needs better than you out there. So therefore, having customers buy Office from you is essential, both for the customer benefit, but also from your business perspective, because you don't want to lose sales to other partners or other competitors, of course. And there's also the slight chance that customers actually mislicense, either by buying a more expensive license or a bigger license than they need, or by buying a license which is too small. And then we have the final aspect, which is the pirated licenses. Because if you were to search for Office 2019 home and business licenses online, you might actually find some licenses which are extremely cheap. And as I've always said, when it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And this may be the case of actually someone trying to sell a pirated license, which means that it doesn't provide the safety features that Office 2019 would do. So therefore, making sure that all of your customers purchase Office through your channel is essential, both for their benefit, but also from your own perspective. And it would, of course, make me happier than ever. And one of the main reasons, as we also can see here, is behind an upgrade is, of course, that you purchase a new PC. So whenever you are in discussion with the customer around operative system, PCs, or how their IT solution is looking today, do not forget to mention Office, because we have a huge upsell potential here where we can increase our revenue by multiple folds. So we want to talk, no, wrong direction, sorry. So we want to talk about these two licenses with our customers, because with the Office Home and Business or Microsoft 365 Business Standard, we make sure that our customers are on the right type of license for a business user. There are cases where business users actually purchase instead a home and student license or any other license that they think are identical to a business license. but fact of the matter is that a business license is the only one that complies to all of the regulations such as GDPR and other data protection rules that the companies need to fulfill. So by mislicensing with, for example, a home and student license, they've bought a license which is designated for students and does not comply to the safety regulations and demands that businesses need to meet. So therefore, it's really important to pervade the customers to get the right type of license. And we are going to look into exactly how we can do that simpler than ever. But just before that, we're going to look into the comparison between these two, because it's always important to repeat stuff. And when it comes to learning, I'm just going to repeat. So Microsoft 365 Business Standard is the license where you get all of the Office apps. You get 1 terabyte of cloud storage. You get premium business apps such as Booking, Access, and Publisher. And you also get the semi-cloud based apps, which is SharePoint, you get Yammer, you have OneDrive, and Teams. So on Microsoft 365 Business Standard, we provide a huge value for business users who are semi-cloud ready or have the regulations which allows them to be semi-cloud. Office 2019 Home and Business, on the other side, is a license which only can be used on a single device. It does not include cloud storage, and it is only including the Office apps. It can either be bought as an ESD, which is an electronically submitted hardware, or as a physical product packaging. So in either case, the customer get their license, they enter the product key, and they download the license and get started. But in both these scenarios, they have a Office license which is completely on-prem. So for customers who don't want to take a step towards the cloud, or who has different regulations which prevents them from doing it, I would highly recommend them purchasing Office 2019 Home and Business. So it's kind of the modern answer of the, for example, Office 2010, which went end of support in October last year. But when it comes to selling these and navigating through this jungle, in an ideal world, you'd be able to always advise your customers each time they interact with any products. But as we all know, a big part of the purchasing journey is taking place without contact. So it's taking place online, on a web shop, on a search engine, and you have no way of controlling what your customers see until now. With the Microsoft Office attached, we offer solutions for you to both increase sales, enhance customer journey, and simplify how customers purchase Office, and making sure that they get the right version for their needs. The Office Attach widget is, simply put, a free tool which we implement together with you. It is automatically mapping the SKU list and pricing directly to your backend solutions, which makes sure that the customer can automatically add the SKU to their cart without any hassle. And as we can see here on the screen, we first and foremost provide the interactive product logo, which is placed on the hardware page. So at your web shop, you here have a fantastic opportunity to increase and enhance your customer journey by just implementing this. This means that a lot of customers, those 80%, which are unaware that Office is not included, well, they get a reminder that they need to include Office when they purchase an hardware. And once they hover the product logo, they can easily add a product to their cart and then check out. So making that whole journey even more simple, and making sure that we also control what type of licenses are they exposed to. So if it's a business user, we would of course only suggest them to get Office, home and student. It could be Office, home and business, sorry, Office, home and business. It could be Office Professional or Microsoft 365 Business Standard, making sure that they have the type of SKUs that are suitable for a business user, so that we help them to comply to GDPR and all of the data protection regulations there is. And once that is done, the customer just adds it to cart, and the SKU is automatically deducted from your backend system, making sure that there is no way possible that you would be accidentally overselling what you have in inventory or anything like that. This solution also works great on a mobile phone. As you can see here, we actually have from our Spanish friends, we have some screenshots just to display how it looks from a mobile device, making sure that no matter what platform your customers are on, it's really simple for them to get the right license for their business need. And what does the Office widget really do for you? Well, what we've seen is that there's actually a huge upscale in sales when you implement the Office attached widget. Because as I mentioned, 80% of customers are unaware that Office is included. And even more so, 30% of customers buy Office from a different channel than the one they bought their PC from. But by then implementing the Office attached widget, we've seen that we get a 44% greater average sale, which means that customers increase their purchase from all of you out there by adding Office to their hardware when purchasing it. So all you have to do to be able to implement the Office attached widget is, of course, that you need to have an e-commerce. You have to have a product hardware that you are selling. But once you have all of that ready, it's really easy to get started. You can either go to portal.oneworldsync.content.com, where you get registered. Or I'm going to provide you with some contact details in the end of the presentation as well. But it's a great way to make sure that you enhance sales without having to do anything else. And if you have a e-commerce which perhaps provides consumer goods as well, it's good to know that we provide this attached widget for different type of software. So if you also sell, for example, Xbox, or if you have a server solution that you're selling, you can implement the Office attached widget via the same code integration to these different solutions, making sure that it's really simple for you to increase sales. So the benefits, to put them simple, is the fact that it acts as a reminder. It reminds your customer that they have to attach Office in their software or hardware purchase. It also helps them to make the right decisions. So we don't risk customers going to a consumer store and buying a consumer license for their commercial use. It also helps you with dynamic pricing. So if you have a campaign, or if you have anything else that you want mapped, it's really easy to get that together with the Office attached widget due to it integrating with your already existing backend solution. And when it comes to cost, as I've mentioned 3 or 4 times now, it is completely free. So the Office attached widget provides a lot of value at, to be frank, 0 cost and very little effort from your side in terms of implementations. So it's really easy and fast to install at 0 costs. Another case story shows that we have had larger companies who've seen almost 45% increase during a 60-day period. And what they've done is 0 other campaigns or any other drives. They have just implemented the Office attached widget. And as we can see here on the second case study, there has been a very nice increase after the Office attached widget implementation. So if you have an e-commerce, I would highly recommend you reaching out to us and discussing how we can help you grow your business, because the increase of interaction on your page is tremendously increasing when you implement these kind of solutions. As we can see here, we've seen a 94% increase in interaction when you have an Office attached widget implemented on a web page. On the next slide, I'm just going to show you a brief video how it actually looks. This video, of course, is from an Xbox solution, but it is just to show you how simple it is to add the license to cart from your already existing web shop. So making sure that your customers does not go to a search engine and start looking around at alternatives which are not applicable for a commercial user. This is not to try to in any way de-abbreviate them from the purpose. They can of course look at alternatives, but we want to make sure that they have the right information at hand so they get the right solution for their business needs. The implementation is done in a very simple 7 steps way. First and foremost, we of course approve the tool, and then we set up a call together with OneWorldSync, which is the agency that helps us with implementing this solution. And we create a catalog feed with the products that you would like to display. So no matter what kind of solutions you have, if you have a license, which I did not mention today, or if you want to add further licenses or any type of solutions that you find relevant, you can always discuss this with us. And then we just create a script code, which then is posted on your product page template. And thereafter, all of the prices are dynamically added, and we make sure that we have the full integration towards your backend solution. So you have the type of automatic dynamic pricing and mapping of SKUs in stock, etc. We then after just save the changes and publish the page. So implementing is really simple and goes by really quickly. After this, we are looking at when you reach out. It would be in between 1 to 3 weeks time from initial contact to deployment. And once it's deployed, it is up and running automatically. After everything, you should be aware that we are of course always here to help you. So there's no problem at all to reach out if you have any questions or need any support of any kind. It is of course a solution and a journey which we want to be with you on every step. And the final case study that I'm going to show you is the fact that it creates the upsells. We've seen that going from 78 units of Office sales per month to 186 per month after implementing the Office attached widget. And if we calculate this from a Office home and business perspective, which is around 2,200, we are talking at an increase of around 20,000 SEK, or 200,000 SEK, sorry, 200,000 SEK in increased sales each month just by implementing the Office attached widget. So there are a lot of money to be made by implementing the attached widget. And I would highly recommend for all of you attendees out there who has an e-commerce to think about implementing it, because it enhances the customer journey. It makes it easier for customers to see the value proposition for commercial users, and it makes sure that we get all of the sales and not lose it towards competitors. And with we, I of course mean you, all of our resellers and distributors out there. So if you think this sounds interesting and want to know more, I would highly recommend that you contact Evelina Huang on Microsoft. You can see her credentials here and reach out to her, and she can help you with whether everything around the whole setup and implementation timeline, or if you just want some more information around it. it's the right person to contact. You can also find information on the Also Get Ready page that we've set up. So if you want to read more around Office Attached Widget, you can always go on there as well. With that being said, I am actually about to conclude today's webinar because we are not running out of time, but we are moving to an end of everything. And one of the things that I want to promote before concluding today's webinar is Expert Zone. Expert Zone is our Microsoft e-learning portal where we have different type of curated content for all of our business users out there. So by being on an Expert Zone, you make sure that you have the right type of information at hand to succeed in your work. And right now, we are actually doing a drive on Expert Zone where we are giving out start kits to people who are engaging in our platform. So by going to expertzone.microsoft.com and doing any module of your choice, and then taking a screenshot of the completion and sending it to me, either via Teams or via this GoToWebinar chat, or email v-sebastianl@microsoft.com, I will send out this start kit to you as a thank you and as an encouragement to keep on learning, because Expert Zone exists for everyone out there to really benefit and learn more about our Microsoft product offering. But with that said, I am actually done with today's presentation. And from what I can see, there has been no questions in the chat. Please write a question if you have any. But other than that, I would like to say thank you to everyone attending. I hope you found it valuable, and I wish you a great end of the Tuesday.